You miss it, Brendan?
No, not in the least bit. Never.
How did you stumble upon the UFC?
Like the first time I ever seen it.
No. Like, so
How did I get started?
You played CU Boulder.
Played CU Boulder.
Now, when you going to CU Boulder, you taking Renzo Gracie, Jiu-Jitsu? What are you doing?
I'm taking some classes in the summer at Easton's BJJ in Boulder. I'm going over there after my training camp. Going over there just because I was interested and I thought I could do it maybe. And then I had a quick cup of coffee with the Buffalo Bills training camp. And then realized, that wasn't going to be a life for me. It's heartbreaking. And then I was a cardio kickboxing coach at LA Boxing. I was just training. And then it kind of just fucking took off, man. I met the right people, meaning the at the time, Nate Marquardt's gym. Nate was in the UFC. There was just guys coming in there. Me and Shane Carwin. Shane had one fight at the time. He needed a big guy to train with. I was the new big guy. Me and him linked up. From there, we went to T's KO, where it was Rashad Evans, Keith Jardine, just the who's who, George St. Pierre, and just got into this cycle. And then started taking fights, and then fucking 4 fights in, I get a call from the Ultimate Fighter. It's heavyweight season. Boom, off to the races. Got my ticket to the Chocolate Factory.
How crazy is that?
Crazy. That's more me pursuing fighting is way more crazy than me pursuing comedy. My family went, what the fuck?
Did they?
Oh my God. My dad was like, you're an idiot. You're an idiot. Literally do anything else. My mom went, what are you doing? You guys, you know me pretty well. I'm not an aggressive dude. I'm not an angry guy. I have a good work ethic, That's about it. But I don't enjoy hurting people. I don't want to hurt people.
When was the first time you got into a fight? How old are you?
Growing up with my older brother, left and right, but on the street, fuck, man. Bullies at school, maybe.
How old? 12, 13?
Like legit fight, maybe 14, 15.
Do you remember what you felt like?
I was terrified. Terrified, man. I was terrified fighting the UFC. Terrified, man. Not, like the Diaz brothers or, that you hear these guys, like Cain Velasquez or these guys like, it's in my blood. I do this for free. What the fuck? It's for you animals. I would never do this for free. I'm only doing this because there's a camera and people pay tickets to watch this.
It's crazy because I enjoyed it till I was about 13. And I took a beating when I was 13 that was ferocious. Broken nose, busted lips, fucking lumps to the head. I busted his nose, but in my world, that didn't do dick compared to what he did. I was healed. I'm not angry anymore. It was just a fist fight, I started fighting when I was maybe 5, when I moved from Cuba to New York City.
Yeah.
I got into a couple scraps.
I had to, yeah.
I got hit in the head with a lunchbox, a fucking, the little containers in there.
Yeah.
And then there was this one kid I used to scrap with a lot. And by that time, I knew karate. His name was Rudy the Haitian. He was Haitian, him and his dad. And I fought that kid, Brendan Schaub, 10 times. Finally, his dad grabbed me and held me arms and had Rudy beat the fuck out.
God damn.
This was animalistic.
Yeah.
And he took me upstairs, and my mom pulled a knife on him.
Jesus Christ.
And chased him, and the cops came, and the neighbor said my mom didn't have a knife, so they didn't press charges.
Good for you, man. So you grew up doing it?
No. Then I went to Catholic school those years, and I'm assuming I had a scrap or two. When I was 13, now by this time, I'm doing karate.
Yeah.
Like, I'm pretty going to the gym, and I'm sparring after class, and I would go to Mario Diaz's house at 9, and we'd go to his basement and beat the fuck out of each other.
Yeah.
The sheetrock was busted everywhere.
Yeah.
No wrestling, no MMA. Just karate, flying side kicks, roundhouse kicks to the head. We bought the gear. We had the iron palm technique. We were crazy. And then right before I quit karate, I got lit up in the gym one day. And I remember walking home, with just boxing gloves and karate gear.
Yeah, just fucking around.
This kid was like a purple belt. And I couldn't believe his quickness. I couldn't believe his footwork. I couldn't believe Dick. At that point, I had been doing karate, fucking 8 years. I wasn't no Bruce Lee, but I knew what I was doing. And I was like, you know what? fighting is definitely something I'm just going to watch. Like, I was a Roberto Duran fan and Muhammad Ali
You've
and
seen
shit.
it. I think for a lot of fighters, I think, Anthony Rumble Johnson just retired. He actually reached out to me today. He retired top of the game, ranked number 2 in the world. And he goes, I'm worried about my brain, man. Like, I see how a lot of this ends for the guys. And, I'm worried about brain trauma, stuff like that. I got a lot of living to do, man. I'm only 30 or 29, where the fuck he is. He's like, once you start thinking about the repercussions of what you're doing, whether it's football, fighting, it's probably time to get out. Because the guy you're fighting is really not thinking like that.
You look at the guys, like Muhammad Ali probably didn't know. And before Muhammad Ali, they just kept it hidden.
But they just didn't know.
They just
assumed, who knows?
You watch Concussion?
Yeah.
Very interesting. I watched it twice on planes.
Me too. I saw it on plane.
But tremendous. You can only watch that movie on plane because if you watch it at the house, something's going to happen.
Yeah.
And they're going to fuck you up and you don't have time to fuck around when I'm watching this fucking movie.
It's too serious of a movie.
That movie shocked me.
Did it?
It shocked me.
Not me.
It shocked me because I thought the NFL was better to their players. I thought that. Well, I remember I did with Bosworth
and Bosworth,
and I spent the whole weekend one time with Bosworth. Me and him just chatting. I loved him. First of all, I loved him.
Yeah.
But he filled me in on one weekend of how they find him. They wouldn't even give him a game check because he would wear his shirt outside of his pants.
He wore like the midriff.
Fucking something crazy. So they would find him the amount of his check.
Yeah.
They took his house. He had to go to Hawaii.
It's a business, man.
But it's a business, Jack.
Sharks.
And we discussed it before with Lee how I never knew till maybe 2 years ago the longevity of a running back in the NFL is 3 years.
3 years.
Because I grew up on Errol Campbell. Look at him. He's in a fucking wheelchair.
Those are the freaks.
Yeah, you only remember the guys who.
But that's all you remember. And also it might be a little better now. But this is probably 3 years ago. You know what the average career of a UFC fighter is? Do you guys know?
Yeah.
Year and a half. Year and a half is the average career in the UFC. I think that was a stat 3 years ago. And maybe it's a little long. Maybe it's not because they're making cuts. But you got to remember in the UFC. For all those main card guys, there's a shitload of undercard dudes. Year and a half is the average career.
I always leveled it this way. That if I got the call from whoever, Jimmy Smits, Dana White, whoever the odds maker is today, honestly, this is in my head. I don't think a 22-year-old or a 24-year-old would know this. I think I'd have a year and a half to accomplish my mission. That's what I really personally think, that you have to go into the UFC knowing that you're going to fight 7 times and one of those for a championship, and that's decide what your next move is.
That's fair.
So you go in there, you fight on 2 or 3 prelim cards, you knock the motherfucker out, they put you on the main card low end.
Yep.
And you keep knocking submission. 6 fights, you're in a championship fight.
Yeah.
You're 6-0, you could talk a little shit.
See where you go from there?
Yeah, see where you go from there. The first year in the UFC, you do fight 3 or 4 times the first year.
That's how I was.
Acceptable.
I fought 4. I had 3 knockouts, all in under a minute, and then they toss you a vet. It's fine, you pass that test. Another vet, Crow Cop, fine, you pass that test. Now I'm, 5-0 in the UFC, 4-0 in the UFC. Then you start fucking with the big dogs. You're talking about the top 10 guys, top 5 guys. And then you find out, are you gonna be one of these legends? Are you gonna be the guy? Like, is this your path? Or you want to be a journeyman where it's probably not for you. You're not gonna be making those buku dollars. You're not gonna be the guy who, is selling jerseys and stuff like that.
Well, you go into it because, first of all, and I don't know if you're listening to this people or not, but always remember, you do this shit because you absolutely love it.
Or you have no options, Joey.